Hey guys, it's Dow back with another episode of Peanuts and Cracker Jacks. Once again, here in the Sign Gypsies Red Hills studio. Be sure to contact Sign Gypsies through Facebook for all your birthday, anniversary, wedding, graduation, prom proposals is a new thing. Check them out on the Facebook. Hit book now, and Melly will take care of you. Free agency is just about wrapped up in Major League Baseball. All of the major stars that anybody cares about have signed and found their new homes. We're going to talk about a few of them today. Most namely, Trevor Bauer, the newest starting pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers. From my attire, you may think that I'm extremely excited about that. I have to say I have mixed emotions. Number one, Trevor Bauer is not worth anywhere close to what he's going to be paid the next 2 years. The contract is for 3 years and $102 million with an opt-out after each season. He'll make $40 million the first year and $45 the second year. So unless he has another Cy Young type season in 2021, he's not going to opt out of that contract. He's not going to turn down $45 million unless he locks up another 120, 150 million guaranteed from somebody else based on his performance in a full season. He was the 2020 National League Cy Young Award winner, obviously in a coronavirus shortened season where he started 11 games for the Cincinnati Reds, going 5-4 with about a 1.7 ERA. Really, really good numbers as far as the ERA, strikeouts to walk, that sort of stuff. But Bauer, in 7 to 8 years as a starting pitcher, has only had an ERA below 4 twice. One of those was last year. That's certainly not the kind of numbers that you would typically pay somebody $40 to $45 million a year for. I mean, obviously it's not because nobody's ever been paid $45 million for a season of baseball in the past. And for Trevor Bauer to be the first, it's kind of laughable. He's been a bit of it's not a head case necessarily, but he's been difficult to deal with ever since he arrived in the major leagues with the Arizona Diamondbacks. For whatever reason, whether it was his long toss routine or trouble with people on social media, fans in the stands, the front office, you name it, he's had a bit of all of it in his past. Whether or not that's affected his performance during his first half of his career, I think you'd be crazy to think that it hasn't had a negative impact. And it's certainly not something that I, as a Dodger fan, really wanted to see in the clubhouse coming off a World Series with the talent that we already had on the roster. Starting pitcher was not a need for the Dodgers by any means. With the addition of Bauer, that gives you a starting rotation of Clayton Kershaw, two-time Cy Young Award winner, three-time Cy Young Award winner, Walker Buehler, probably a soon-to-be Cy Young Award winner, Bauer, who'll probably be either the second or third guy, depending on where you want to slot him and Buehler. David Price is coming back from injury. David Price is a former Cy Young Award winner. Plus, you also have young guys like Tony Gonsolin, Dustin May, and Julio Urias, who you can factor into the starting rotation if you need to be. So adding Trevor Bauer to the other guys that I just mentioned definitely wasn't a need. Does it make you a stronger team if he comes in and he plays well with others? Absolutely. You can never have too much starting pitching in the major leagues. It's the number one asset that a team can have. He's got the talent. I don't think there's any question about that. I just think it's always been something, whatever it's been, that's kind of set him off and held him back a little bit. Why he excelled in Cincinnati of all places, I don't know. Is it because nobody pays any attention to Cincinnati? Is he more likely to blow a fuse when there's more media attention focused on him, which it will be in LA, obviously? Does he think maybe he can counteract that by just winning 105, 110 games this year? A lot of times winning does make disgruntled people happier. when I tell little kids that I coach in Little League, the number one point of playing is to have fun. The best way to have fun is to win. Okay, and that goes from all the way from t-ball to upward basketball to the major leagues, in my opinion. Winning is just fun. So Bauer does make you a stronger team if everything works out in a best case scenario. What bothered me initially was, is it going to affect the Dodgers' ability to re-sign Justin Turner, which by now we know that it didn't, because the Dodgers have gone out and re-signed Justin Turner for 2 years and $34 million, overpaying for him because he wanted 4 years instead of 2, so you kind of met in the middle there, giving him a little bit more money. But Justin Turner is also a guy that I believe has hit about 305 for his career in L.A. He's your number one clubhouse guy. He is still a solid defender at third. He's one of those guys that just makes the offense go. He's not going to be the best player in the lineup, but he does everything that you need him to do, and he helps everybody around him play better, in my opinion. You signed Turner for 2 years and $34 million, so the Bauer contract didn't have a negative impact on that, but looking towards the 2022 season, will it have an impact on whether or not you re-sign Corey Seager? Corey Seager plays a premium position at shortstop and will be a free agent after the 2022 season. He's looking to cash in for sure, especially after the season he had in 2020, where he really came on and started hitting the ball as hard as anybody in the league. If he has another season like that in 2021, he could certainly be on his way out of LA. That's yet to be seen. You've also got Max Muncy coming up here in a couple of years. You're about to lose control over Cody Bellinger. In my opinion, you've got to re-sign Cody Bellinger in 2022 or after the 2022 season, whenever he gets past the final arbitration stage of his contract. So how is the Bauer contract going to affect that if you have to pay him $45 million in 2022? There's questions that we obviously don't have the answer to yet. And I guess for the Dodgers, it really doesn't matter, because when you just print money, you can just pay everybody whatever you want to. I want to say that I don't have a problem with that, because I want to see the Dodgers win. But at the same time, your payroll's at $260 million right now. That combined, I believe that's more than the Rays, the Pirates, the Indians, the Marlins, and at least those 4 clubs combined is under $260 million. So if you're going up to $300 million, it starts taking some of the fun out of it, I think. I don't necessarily think that baseball needs a salary cap in place, but I think you're starting to really get out of hand when you get into that neighborhood where your payroll is higher than 4 or 5 teams combined. But again, as long as the Dodgers keep winning, they're going to keep spending unless baseball does something about it. And I don't really see that happening in the next few years. But again, the main topic here was Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer going into that rotation obviously makes the starting rotation stronger. Where the Dodgers have gotten weaker this year, I believe, is in the bullpen. Lately, here in the past week, it seems like they've traded off all of their left-handed relievers or chosen not to re-sign them. They traded Adam Kolarek. They chose not to re-sign Jake McGee. There was one more left-hander that they dealt off there. So right now, I think they've got one left-handed arm in the bullpen in Victor Gonzalez. That tells me that Julio Urias is probably going to spend the majority of his time in the bullpen this year, which is not a bad thing. He's got an arm that's capable of pitching multiple times a week, and he's a guy that has not had a problem bouncing from starter to reliever in the past. If you watched him in the postseason, he was absolutely phenomenal coming out of the bullpen. So that gives you another left-handed arm there. You're still probably hoping that Kenley Jansen is much better than he was last year. Certainly towards the second half of the season. You re-signed Blake Trainin, so obviously they've got a lot of faith in him. Brewster Gratterall, this is his second full year in the majors, so you're not without talent. But when you look at the Trevor Bauer signing, personally, I'd have much rather seen them go out and overspend for Liam Hendricks. Maybe keep Dylan Floro was the other one that I was thinking of. But keep Dylan Floro, keep Adam Kolarek, guys that you're not going to have to spend much money on, and make your bullpen stronger since your starting rotation was already elite. But we'll see. It's going to be fun. They're going to be obviously the hands-on favorites or odds-on favorite to win another title this year. San Diego's made a lot of moves that we've talked about on previous shows. I still think San Diego is third behind the Atlanta Braves. Big name we were waiting on for the Braves to sign was Marcell Ozuna, and they did. They opened up the checkbook for Ozuna. I'm drawing a blank on the numbers here, but I think the average contract value, average annual value of his contract was somewhere between $16 and $18 million a year, which was less than I expected him to get. I really expected him to get over $20 million a year coming off last year and the previous seasons that he'd had with the Marlins and the Cardinals. But I think it was a great signing for Atlanta. Makes their offense that much better. He can play left field. People I think have over-exaggerated his defensive liability. He's not certainly not the best outfielder in the league, but there are plenty of guys out there playing left field that are not Mookie Betts or Cody Bellinger or Mike Trout. And Ozuna does bring you a plus bat at the plate, so he can play in the National League. I really just thought that some American League team was going to overspend for him and put him at DH. But congrats to the Braves for signing him. As always, they seem to make a great deal for themselves. Keep their payroll. While they're still spending money, they're certainly not spending money like the Dodgers or the Padres or the Yankees are. But I think the Dodgers are a solid number 2 in the National League behind the Dodgers, with the Padres number 3 right now. But the Bauer and the Ozuna signings, those were the two big names that were left out on the market. Justin Turner is still a big name. Those are probably the final 3 there that we've heard about, especially over the past week. If there's anybody out there big name wise that's left, I really cannot think of them. I think we're about done as far as free agency goes. I've enjoyed talking about it and following it for the past couple of months. But as we move forward, we're going to try to get into some team previews starting within the next week, maybe even today if we have time. But I hope you're enjoying these videos. Please like, comment, share. Give Sign Gypsies Red Hills a call or check them out on Facebook. We'd love to help make your special occasion that much more special. But thanks for listening. Tell a friend and tune in next time. Thanks, guys.